Hello, everybody, and welcome. If you are wondering how to get started with Kelvin and the onboarding process, you are in the right place. This is the Kelvin Learning Lab Summer Series entitled, How Do I Get Started? I just wanted to let everyone know that this is a California-specific webinar. So if you're out of California, this will not pertain to you. And let's get started. We have 4 learning objectives today. The first is we will explain the onboarding steps, quick and easy. We will talk about what you will do on your end and what we will do on our end, and we'll talk some technical and non-technical onboarding. Here is our Kelvin onboarding cycle, which we'll go through in the call, but there are 4 easy steps, quick sign-up process, then we'll connect your data. You'll give your first pulse, you'll meet your CSM, and we have ongoing support throughout this whole process. So we are here to help. What we'll do on our end is the system setup with your staff. So there's a few things that my colleague Holly will go over. We offer a free pulse consultation. So if you are in need of some help trying to get survey questions or trying to figure out your goals for your pulses, we can offer help there. And then what you'll do is you'll communicate to staff and families how important this survey is and what Kelvin can do for you and your students and your families. And we want you to help build buy-in so that everybody sees that value and is on board. And I will pass it off to my colleague, Holly, to go through those onboarding steps.
Thank you, Jill. Hi, I'm Holly. I'm one of the CSMs here at Kelvin, and I'm going to take you through each of the steps of the onboarding cycle that Jill had shown you earlier. So the first step, if you haven't already signed up, would be to sign up with us. So you can contact us at hello@kelvin.education to get a demo of our product if you haven't already received your demo, or just to connect with us to get those contracts in place, the data sharing agreements. And then one important note for our California districts, there's no application needed to receive the funding. It's already been applied, the funding coming from DHCS, to all California school districts. So we in partnership with DHCS and CalHope have made this really easy for you. Now, once we have your data sharing agreement signed by your district, we'll work with your data team. So we're going to contact them, and it could be one person or a whole team of people, depending on what your district or county setup looks like, to transfer your data to Kelvin from your Pulse site. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty, but Justin will cover some of those technical details in a little bit in terms of the options to connect your SIS. But in general, the data person or your data team should have access to your student information system, the Google admin console, and manage the district or school's firewall to mark Kelvin's URLs as safe. All right, so once we have connected your data and done the technical setup, your designated CSM or Customer Success Manager will meet with you for a kickoff meeting. The project owner and any team leads that you think should be involved in that. So we'll teach you how to use Kelvin Pulse and support you along the way to provide resources on how to use the system, additional resources like communications for your staff, your family members, for students. So again, we try to make this the unsystem and keep everything really easy for you to roll out, so the lift is not very hard and heavy on your team. All right, and then we will also meet with you before your first pulse with our education team to align your SEL goals with your first pulse. And then we'll book a follow-up to review data and next steps with you as well. So these are included in your package with Kelvin if you sign up with us. And we also will be there along the way. So we're not going to get you onboarded and then just leave you hanging on your own. We provide ongoing support, and you can also connect with us again at hello@kelvin.education. But some of the things that we'll provide to you are personalized check-ins, letting you know about additional learning opportunities and webinars that we have available, and try to connect you with other Kelvin users so that you have the support that you need to make the most out of using Kelvin Pulse for your district, for your school, and supporting your students and staff and families. So at this point, I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Justin, who's going to share a little bit more about the technical and non-technical action items.
Thanks, Holly. My name is Justin, and I am one of the customer success managers with Kelvin. And I'll just be guiding you along some of these next steps here. One thing you'll need to do is we will be sending you a slide deck with these 3 items. We refer to them as the technical action items. The first thing is we're going to want you to install the extension. This is the primary way in which the pulses or surveys go out for students. It's just our little dog that pops up in the corner of the screen. So you'll need to install that extension and share that with your IT department or whichever team is in charge of pushing out extensions. The second thing we'll need you to do is import your SIS or student information data. So whether that's coming from Aries, PowerSchool, wherever it's coming from, there's different ways that you can connect that data and we will work with you. So it could come, maybe you use Clever, or perhaps we can use an API or flat files. But once we get your data imported, you'll be ready to go. And then the last but not least is we'll need you to whitelist some Kelvin URLs. We have a list there that we will provide for you, which basically just allows Kelvin to do all that Kelvin does with students and staff. And so that way it's not being blocked. And then there are some other things that we call the non-technical action items. So in addition to the technical items, which you can basically, it's a slide deck that you can just forward to your IT department. There are some things for you as a project owner to kind of go over. We would like for you to provide us with a list of admin users. So these might be non-teachers or non-rostered staff that may not come in through the import. So we want to provide access to admin users. Could be a principal, it could be a counselor, anyone who needs like site access to look at the reports, but doesn't have a direct roster. So if you provide us with that list, we will make sure that they are in Kelvin and have access. And then the second thing is to review the question bank. So we will share with you a spreadsheet with all of our questions. So that way you kind of know ahead of time, even before our first call, what you have in mind, what kind of questions you might be wanting to develop, and looking at our bank before we even meet with you. And then the third resource is what we're calling Kelvin resources. So these are things, it's kind of a package of resources, things like a family letter that you can send home for opting out to provide support for those for your families, and a series of other communication pieces that that you can use to educate people about Kelvin at your school site and district. And that pretty much covers the non-technical items. And that covers pretty much everything that we wanted to today. So we also want to be able to take your questions. And so if you have questions, you can always email us at hello@kelvin.education. And we'll provide that for you here, hello@Kelvin Education. So if you're interested in signing up, just send us an email at hello. And then also we do have a help website that is available to you there, help.kelvin.education, that you can find other resources once you do sign up. And that's it. Thank you very much.